Back here, a D.C. council member, Trayon White, is apologizing tonight to the Jewish community. This after comments that he made on his personal Facebook page. Now, with snow flurries hitting D.C. on Friday, the councilman posted a video from inside his vehicle in which he seemed to buy into an old hateful conspiracy theory that Jewish people control the weather for financial gain.
It just started snowing out of nowhere this morning, man. Y'all better pay attention to this climate control, man. This climate manipulation. And D.C. keep talking about we're a resilient city. And that's a model based off the Rothschilds controlling the climate to create natural disasters they can pay for it and own the cities, man. Be careful.
Now, here's the backstory. The Rothschilds are a famous European business dynasty. They're descendants from an 18th century Jewish banker who lived in Germany. The family has been subjected to anti-Semitic conspiracy theories over the years, alleging that they and other Jews can manipulate world events to their advantage. This evening, Councilman Trayon White is apologizing for pushing that conspiracy theory in his video. I talked to him this afternoon. Councilman White, thanks for joining us. I know it's been a difficult day for you. I also know that you've heard from the Jewish community. Tell me what you've heard and what you want to say at this point.
Well, I met with a number of Jewish leaders, rabbis in the community in the Washington, D.C. region. Just sharing my sentiments and my apologies to the Jewish community, and a lot of them I know, especially from Jews United for Justice, and working on a lot of projects prior to becoming a council member in the community. We're trying to figure out what our commonalities are. They've been a strong advocate for especially African Americans like myself in marginalized communities, and so we're trying to figure out ways we can utilize this energy to work together to fight against injustice and prejudice. And so I'm deeply apologetic about this, because if I offend anybody by any comments I made, I want to own up to it. And so I've done that, and I want to continue to do that as long as I need to do it.
Yeah. Help me understand. What are you apologizing for? What is it that you said that you now recognize it was wrong?
So today was an educational journey for me. As far as mentioning the name Rothschild and things like that, it sends a lot of hatred feelings and to the Jewish community based on some stereotypes that they face on a daily basis, dating all the way back to the Holocaust, and just some to current date theories, conspiracy theories that people believe in reference to the Jewish community. And some of my comments touched on that, and I definitely learned a lot today, and looking to meet more with the Jewish leaders over the next couple of days. We're actually going to do something in Ward 8 coming up within the next 2 weeks to talk deeper about these issues facing the African-American community and also the Jewish community.
Councilman, I can call you Trayon. I've known you that long. I mean, people were just stunned by these words coming from you of all people. I mean, to insinuate, you know, the Jewish people are somehow manipulating and in charge of the weather, the climate, and you put it on your personal Facebook page.
Well, Bruce, for one, I don't want to make light of anything I said, but it was made in light during the conversation. That was part of the whole conversation, but I don't want to anyway belittle any comments that I made, so I don't give a lot of excuses. I want to own up to anything I've said and want to be apologetic to the Jewish community now. And make amends. I've heard a lot from my Jewish friends, also my colleagues here on the council, so we are working through some of these issues right now.
Yeah, made in light, so you certainly don't believe this. That's what I'm hearing, correct?
No, I don't believe it. Yes, it was a part of a running conversation and actually involving the Rockefellers and things like that, and I made a comment after someone else made a comment in a joking manner, which is totally unacceptable, and so I take ownership of it.
Is this a learning moment? I'll use this as an exit question, because you did tell me beforehand that you had to go. Is this a learning moment? Because, you know, often jokes are made about minorities, you know, the stereotypes and that sort of thing. And when these things come to light, they're very hurtful. They're very painful. And as African Americans, we know this as much as anybody, correct?
I totally agree. I must admit I'm not well versed on the Jewish traditions or customs as I should be, and anything I've said to offend anyone, because I've faced racist remarks towards myself and people in my community. So I'm deeply apologetic about this and sincere about it. I'm not just saying it because I'm on camera or because it's been exposed. That's not who I am, and I want to make an apology about it.
Okay, Councilman White, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Bruce.
And it turns out this education could have happened quite some time ago, because apparently this isn't the first time that Councilman White has used this kind of language. The Washington Post shared a video this afternoon from one of Mayor Bowser's meetings with council members. This was last month, and Councilman White, in his remarks, charges that the Rothschilds control the World Bank. Take a listen to this.
I guess one of the things I'm in question about was that there's this whole concept with the Rothschilds to control the World Bank, as we all know, infusing dollars into major cities. They really pretty much control the federal government, and now they have this concept called resilient cities, in which they are using their money and influence into local cities. How does this influence this? Because it's really about infrastructure and climate control. What does this have to do with UDC? Have they put money into UDC, or what's the relationship between the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers?
Now, we're baffled because nobody in that meeting seemed to object to the councilman's conspiracy theory back then. Mayor Bowser tonight is condemning the language. All of that conspiracy stuff has been proven bogus in the past many times over. Let's move on.